All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Professor Jack, got my pencil out ready. Take some notes. This is Weight Loss Nutrition 101. So, right now, just want to walk through some basic weight loss nutrition advice from somebody who was objectively overweight. I was over 300 pounds. Okay, played offensive line at the University of Buffalo. Was somebody who played there, went from a walk on fourth string to starting all MAC. That's a conference. Um, Offensive lineman, guard, captain. And then from there, 305 pounds dropped down to 225 from December to May. Okay. Lost, I don't know, I'm not good at math, but that's about 80 pounds. So I'm going to help you right now with just some basic nutrition for weight loss, right? 101 here. Get your pencils out, ready to take some notes here. And how I've maintained that, I will continue with this series in the future. But we want to just talk about basic weight loss 101. So right now, a great concept that I like to think about is when you buy ground beef, there's plenty of different options, right? There's if you go to Walmart, there's probably 70-30, right? There's that big tube. Then you got 80-20, you got 90-10, you got 93-7, 95-5. So now we want to think about that ratio, but just for how we eat. Really, it's how we eat whole foods. So when you're coming in to realizing your goal is weight loss, right? We want to think about eating whole foods primarily. That's going to give us some great energy, and it's really going to help that metabolism out. All that processed food and junk that you're typically eating that I know I had to eat to keep on 300 plus pounds is something we want to slowly eliminate. So first thing you do is figure out what you eat day to day, right? You might be eating 50% processed, aka not a single ingredient food, right? We want to get that to at least 70-30 if you're starting at 50, or 80-20, and so on. And we want to think about the more whole food we eat, the higher the ratio. If we can get that up to 80-20, 90-10, and then slowly start to utilize calories to reduce those or increase exercise, or both. That's going to be super helpful. For just 101, though, we want to start with whole foods. So we want to be focused on three primary macronutrients, okay? And the great thing about whole foods is it's going to also include micronutrients, which are things that help optimize hormones, optimize health. So the three macronutrients we want to focus on, okay? The first one, the building block of muscle, we all know this one. This is protein, okay? Protein, each gram of protein has 4 calories, okay? Each gram of carbohydrates has 4 calories, and each gram of fat contains 9 calories. So you can see already, fat is a higher density calorie macronutrient compared to protein and carbohydrates. And the problem with a lot of these processed foods that you might be eating if you're looking to lose weight, commonly there's going to be a combination of fat and carbohydrates and probably lower protein. So the benefit of eating whole foods and cooking your own whole foods is going to be you're going to be able to control those macronutrients a little bit better and eat foods that are going to help you accomplish your goals of losing weight. So just a few examples right now I'm going to go through that I give to my clients, which is just an approved food list. So I might give somebody set macronutrients, okay, and then implied from those macronutrients we want to hit certain micronutrients. But just focusing on macronutrients right now, right, you're getting into the process of losing weight. You want to cook your own food, right? We want to focus on eating enough protein. For you, that is going to be 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. And if you're somebody who's probably over 20-30% body fat, we want to think about maybe 1 gram of protein per pound of goal body weight. So say when I was 300 pounds, I typically like to keep my protein high. It's going to help increase the metabolism, that is of eating protein. But we want to make sure we have adequate protein. So really 0.8 to 1.2 grams of protein per pound of body weight, or lean body mass if we're very overweight, which is totally okay. I've been there, and I'm here to help you if you're overweight, cut down. So what I give to my clients, first of all, we want to think about animal sources for protein. Okay, those are going to be some of the ones that are most rich in micronutrients. So those 3 macronutrients: protein, carbohydrates, fat, like I mentioned. Some of the main micronutrients. Not all, but some of the main ones we want to focus on. It's going to be iodine. Okay, that's going to really be important for thyroid function. We've got potassium. That's a part of the electrolytes. We've got iron, calcium, vitamin D3, sodium, glutathione, vitamin C, vitamin A, and there's many more out there, fiber, and many other ones that are really important. But we're going to start with protein right now, just for Nutrition 101. We're going to think about a few different animal sources, and then we'll go into other sources as well. Okay, animal sources, we've got beef, okay? So initially, we can start out with 80-20. We can do 90-10, 95-5, 85-15, and then we can go into the different steaks too. A lot of times we're going to want to reduce that fat a little bit more. So typically, and people who are overweight, they don't even realize where their calories are coming from. So it's an important thing to start. You can get MyFitnessPal. It's a really easy app. I've had that since probably 2014 when I was trying to gain weight initially. But it's a really helpful way, that and a food scale, to track your food. So you can just put on, okay, I cooked 80-20 burgers. I'm going to weigh out 8 ounces, and bam, it's going to show you how many calories, calories from fat, how many calories from protein, and in that case, no calories from carbs. But from there, I like to give set macro goals for the day and for each meal. So then, if you were a client of mine, I would just be giving you either a meal to eat, specifically of the foods or the macronutrients. But we're going to have beef. That's a great source of protein. Lean sources of beef, we're going to think about more of the sirloin, the tenderloin, the top round, and then 90-10 and above. So 90-10 or 93-7, etc. Then we can go in the chicken, okay? We got a lot of options of chicken. Chicken tenderloin is some of my favorite for lean protein. We got chicken breast, drumsticks, thighs, wings, etc. Rotisserie chicken. From there, we can go in the dairy, right? This is all protein. We've got Greek yogurt. It's another great one to have in the morning. A lot of people who are overweight tend to skip breakfast throughout the day. They think this is right. They're fasting, and technically they are, which is great. But for a lot of us, including myself back in the day who was overweight, fasting can sometimes just increase that hunger. And by the end of the day, you're kind of in that binge eating mode. You're ready to eat whatever. And even if it's healthy, you might be eating too much of it. So what we want to do is have a nice healthy breakfast in the morning. That's got protein, and if you're going to be exercising, then add in some carbs and a little bit of fat as well. So a great option for the morning, which is a protein source, is going to be Greek yogurt. We've got Faye, my favorite brand, 000, another one by Oikos is great. There's a lot of great brands out there. Look for something that doesn't have added sugar, okay? Added sugar, added oils, all that. We want just solid Greek yogurt. You can add in what you want to add in. We don't want to have all these additives in your food. So Greek yogurt's a great option. Okay, we've got milk, Fairlife specifically, I think is a great option. You could get the lactose free, and even better, raw milk for sure. It's got those enzymes already in there. If you're not scared of all the propaganda that's been put out there against non-pasteurized, aka raw milk. From there, eggs, another great source. Okay, we can have egg whites and eggs. I like to do an egg white mixed with egg omelet. Okay, that's great. I have 3 eggs, and then I'll weigh out from an egg white carton a certain amount of egg whites, make a little omelet like that. You can always add in some cheese, vegetables, many things like that. It's a great other breakfast to have ready, and that's something easy to meal prep. You can make a few omelets at night. Before you know it, you make that Sunday night, you've got 3 ready to go for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Okay, from there we've got plant protein. Okay, so we got black beans, kidney beans, chickpeas, lentils. All of those are solid sources. Okay, you want to be careful of how that makes your stomach feel. You don't want to be constipated. That's not fun. I've been there. I've had plenty of stomach issues. I've even had a colonoscopy. You feel like an old guy. Even though I'm in my 20s, but I've had that. That's not fun. You don't want to be constipated. But if those feel well in your stomach, you can always add those in with rice too. From there, we've got pork is another great option. Okay, bacon's could be a fattier option, but there's other great ones like pork tenderloin. That's another great one. You can make on the grill. You can make in the oven. I like to sometimes sear it first and then put it in the oven, then slice it up. That's another great option. Seafood, another one. A lot of fish really digests very well. You want to get wild caught typically for seafood, but we can focus on things like cod, flounder, haddock, mussels, and oysters are great. The shellfish really have, like mussels and oysters, have great micronutrient profiles. So They act as an aphrodisiac. They're going to help you increase that libido as well. So that's good to have on date night. We've also got salmon, sardines. I like sardines. I have those in my car just in case I don't have food on me. Put a little hot sauce on there. You're good to go. Another one, we've got scallops, shrimp, tilapia, etc. So if you like to fish, man, that's great. You can source your own food. Of course, hunting as well. If you're a hunter, that venison, elk, whatever it is, bear, all of those can be great options, right? That's a single nutrient, single ingredient food, right? Instead of eating a protein bar, let's try to eat these single ingredient protein sources. They're going to help really optimize how you intake and absorb the nutrients rather than eating a protein bar with all these different fillers. Once again, a protein bar can be helpful though. Instead of going to McDonald's and getting burger, fries, and a Pepsi, you can get 2 protein bars from the gas station and a 0-calorie drink. You're good to go. So, of course, like I mentioned, supplements. So, some supplements for protein. We've got casein powder. This is something great to have at night to slower digesting protein. We've got collagen powder, which I think is great to add in the morning with your Greek yogurt. Maybe some berries, some chia seeds, some honey, some things like that. Okay, and then, of course, we've got whey protein. We've got whey concentrate, whey isolate. And then, of course, another one is going to be turkey. You can utilize turkey bacon, even though if you're going to have bacon, have pork bacon. I'm not a huge fan of turkey bacon because, once again, it's not a single ingredient food. You look at the turkey bacon, a lot of times it is processed. If it's not great, have that as well. But then there's ground turkey. Okay, for ground turkey, I think we want to have the 99.1, and then you can add in some fat sources. And then, of course, turkey sausage, turkey breast, all that stuff. Okay, so those are your main sources of protein, right? So I hope you wrote down a few of those, the ones that you would like, and you can add those to the shopping list, right? Any of the grocery stores you go to, my preference is Costco, but whatever store you go to, you can load up on those and you can do a little meal prep. The fun thing about meal prep is you can cook your fats, or you can really cook your protein and your carb sources, and you can add some fats if you don't have enough from those protein sources, like an 80-20 beef. That's going to have plenty of fat. Some would say a little too much, but either way, we want to incorporate fat in our diet, but we want to know exactly what we're putting in our body when we're trying to lose weight. Okay, what you can't measure, you can't really track the results for. So we want to be able to measure what we're doing, at least initially, right? During weight loss, on your weight loss journey, especially if you're somebody who's at a larger body weight, you've been trying to lose weight for a while, it is helpful to track your food initially. Pretty soon, in a month or two, you're going to realize exactly what you put on your plate. Like, yeah, it looks like 6 to 8 ounces of chicken. Okay, it looks about a cup of rice. Okay, and a half an avocado. Okay, I kind of know, whatever. This meal's about, 600-700 calories. Perfect. Going on to the next meal. But initially, it's helpful to track, to really understand, because if you're somebody who puts on condiments, creamers, things like that, extra calories, right, for just losing a pound of hopefully body fat, but of weight per week, we want to be in a 3,500 calorie deficit per week. So that would mean 500 calories per day. So if we can eliminate any of those added foods, especially those added condiments, sodas, things like that, coffee, creamers, that's going to help really reduce those calories and help you lose weight without really having to reduce food a ton. Okay, we want to still keep food volume high, and this is where we can utilize carbohydrates as well. So some great source of carbohydrates, oats, really like that. You can do a lot of fun recipes with oats, making pancakes, French toast. You can have overnight oats. You can do a million different options. Obviously, regular oatmeal is great too. Quinoa, another great option. Okay, we've got bread, preferably sourdough. One thing with bread is you want to watch out for glyphosate. That's a common pesticide. That's a common pesticide, herbicide. I'm not a scientist here, but it's something you don't really want, or you don't want at all, preferably in your diet. And that's the great thing about cooking your food, really being able to know what's in your food, right? So you go to Costco, you see, okay, the oats, glyphosate free. You make sure the bread is organic, healthy. And a lot of times that glyphosate is actually going to create a response in your body that's similar to celiac. So a lot of people will think they have maybe a gluten intolerance, when a lot of times that is really just additives, whether that's enriched, whether there's glyphosate in that bread or in that carb source. That's why people say they can go to Italy, eat as much pasta as they want. They don't have that. Europe's a lot stricter with the food additive laws and all of that. Here in the U.S., we're not as strict, so we want to make sure if you're in the U.S. that you are really cognizant of what you put in your body. Okay, that's going to help you feel better. That's going to help you lose weight, right? You don't want all that crap and sludge. It's just going to slow down that weight loss process. Okay. Once again, we've got other things. Pasta. I enjoy pasta. I have that probably 4 times a week. I have brown rice pasta, glyphosate free. Okay, that's another great source. We have cream of rice, another great source for the morning. Okay, cream of wheat, grits, polenta. Those are some solid options. Then we go to starchy carbs. These are where the potatoes come in. I'm an Irishman. I like my potatoes, right? It's got great potassium. And the cool thing about potatoes, too, is it's going to help you stay full. Rather than having a few pieces of bread, I really think potatoes are a great option. You can do so many things with them, too. You can bake them, and then from there, you can add them to your omelet. You can cook them up in the morning in the skillet, make them some home fries, whatever you want to do with it. But potatoes are a great option. Roasted's really easy. Make them in the air fryer, a bunch of different options. But we've got sweet potatoes, which is great, or yams, whatever you want to call them. We got white potatoes, pumpkin, butternut squash. You can make spaghetti squash. You got turnips, parsnips, beets, all these things. And there's a whole list I like to give to my clients. Then we got simple carbohydrates, right? Honey and maple syrup. Surprisingly, those actually have a good amount of micronutrients too, whether that's magnesium, or a bunch of other cool things in there. You can look those up or DM me for some more details about that. Then we want to look into fruits. Fruits are a great option. For carbohydrates, especially when we're losing weight, we're probably going to pull down the carbohydrates compared to what you've been eating. But the great thing about carbohydrates, especially fruit, once again, great micronutrient profile. So you're going to be getting in a lot of these micronutrients just in the whole food sources that we're eating. Of course, you can still take vitamins and supplements, but the more we can really get these bioavailable micronutrients in our food, that's fantastic. So for fruits, right, we got citrus. Okay, that's one whole category. We got oranges, lemons, limes, grapefruit, tangerine, clementines. We go into berries, okay? Strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, cranberries. I got gooseberries, mulberries, boysenberries, acai berries, huckleberries. I used to have those in Oregon when I was firefighting. Just pick them right off before we light the whole bush on fire. Those are good. Stone fruits. Okay, this is a category. I don't even know what that really means, but stone fruit, we've got peaches, nectarines, plums, cherries, apricots, mangoes. Those are all great sources of carbohydrates. And the great thing about fruits is they're usually going to keep you more full than a lot of those simple carbohydrates that you're having. Okay, so as a snack, rather than having, who knows, some random Fiber One bar or Nutri-Grain bar or Nature Valley bar, have an orange, have some beef jerky, or have some whey protein shake or things like that. Okay, then we go to tropical fruits. One of my favorites is pineapple. That's going to help with digestion. Banana has great amounts of fiber, potassium in there too. Great to have before and after exercise. We've got papaya, guava, passion fruit, dragon fruit, star fruit, etc., etc. Then we got melons. Great to have in the summertime, right? These are some really great options for high food volume carbohydrates. Okay, so here we've got watermelon, cantaloupe, honeydew, and then we go into other fruits. We've got apples, pears. Okay, then we got grapes, figs. Okay, those are all great sources. And then, of course, you can always use juices, hopefully not from concentrate, orange juice, lemon juice, lime juice. Okay, from there, berry juices, etc., etc. Okay, so those are some of the main carbohydrate sources we have available to us that are whole foods. Okay. Of course, there's other ones out there. Leave a comment if you know of any other carbohydrate sources that are single ingredient that you enjoy. Okay, from there, we're going to go into some fat sources. So we do have saturated fat and unsaturated fat. A lot of controversy out there with different people implicating how saturated and unsaturated fat can impact cholesterol levels, can impact plaque buildup. What I typically have followed from the vertical diet and other diets by Alan Argonne and other professionals in the field, typically recommend about 30% of your fat intake to be from saturated or less, and then the rest, aka 70% or more, from unsaturated. So a few examples of saturated fat, of course, is going to be any from the animal proteins. That would be egg, beef, etc. Other sources, we've got grass-fed butter, Kerrygold. That's a great thing to cook your omelet in. Okay, we've got ghee, which is basically just rendered down butter. We've got tallow, which is from beef, lard, which is from pork. So we've got also coconut oil. That's another great one. Dark chocolate, another option for unsaturated fat. Dark chocolate's another great one to curb those sweet cravings. Have a little dark chocolate, some kind of protein, and then maybe a little bit of berries at night. Dark chocolate, Greek yogurt, berries at night, great snack to kind of satisfy that sweet tooth at night without going to bed on an empty stomach, being all hungry, waking up at 3 a.m. and going to binge on a box of cereal like I know I've done in the past. We want to avoid that. We want to avoid the binge food. That's why we want to have a few equally balanced meals throughout the day. You can moderate the macronutrients depending on what you're up to. More carbohydrates around your workouts with the protein, and then when you're farther away from your workouts, we can focus on having more fats and protein. Once again, those are the 3 macronutrients: protein, carbohydrates, fat. From there, some other options for saturated, we've got cheese. I think cheese is a great option. Once again, if we can get raw cheese, that's great. Or just looking at that nutrient profile, right, the ingredient profile, I want to make sure that it doesn't have a bunch of random additives, colors, and other bullshit in there. Cheese is my favorite. It's cheddar, but you can Asiago brie, cheddar, goat cheese, Colby, cottage cheese, another power move right there. Get some cottage cheese, mix that with some Greek yogurt, some berries, some honey, a little chia seeds, so you can have a good bowel movement later in the day, aka good poop. We want to have good poops out here. Okay, another stuff, feta cheese, of course, etc., etc. A lot of different cheeses. Most of those are going to be fat sources. So if you're having a lean protein like chicken breast, that's a great thing to add in there. A little bit of fat source, it mixes in well with some warm rice, potatoes, etc. From there, we're going to go into the unsaturated or the monounsaturated, and we got plant-based oils. Okay, olive oil and avocado oil. I want to make sure these are pure, not cut with any bullshit, which can commonly happen. Okay, then we got nuts and seeds. These are really great fats to add in your diet as well, as long as you're not sensitive to these nuts. I'm myself figured out I'm sensitive to peanuts, which makes sense because my first fire last year, we get called to the fire. I get there. We get there, I don't know, 8 p.m. We don't get hiking until on the mountain, probably until like midnight, maybe 1 a.m. And by 4 a.m., we're working our tails off. I pop some pre-workout, and I'm just chowing down some trail mix, which is a ton of peanuts. And before I know it, I've got bad gas, and everyone, we go on a line digging up the mountain, and the people behind me, they could tell that did not mix well with my stomach, for sure. So figure out what works well with you, right? If you eat something and it messes up your stomach, that's why it's important to track your food, because you can look back, man, what did I eat yesterday before my stomach hurt? Oh, I had peanuts. Okay. Or maybe, oh, I had freaking, who knows? I had some oats. Those messed up my stomach. Okay. Figure out what doesn't feel good. Don't have that. But once again, some nuts and seeds. We got almonds, cashews, pecans, macadamia nuts. Those really work well on my stomach. Pistachios. Then fruits. Okay. Technically, avocado and olives are fruits. Olives, great thing to add in a salad. Avocado, add that on some toast with some eggs. Power move in the morning. And then omega-3 fatty acid sources. These are great for reducing inflammation. So a lot of people will talk about fish oil, right? EPA, DHA, that's going to help decrease inflammation, aka pain, aka joint pain, especially if you're an athlete like myself, right? I've got arthritis in both of these shoulders. I've got arthritis in my lower back, and probably other places too, left ankle, etc. So if you're a former athlete, you probably got some arthritis, you probably got some beat up areas in your body. So we want to make sure we have some of these omega-3 fatty acids to help reduce inflammation. Those sources are good, a lot of times could be seafood. Okay, so we're going to have salmon, mackerel, sardines, herring, tuna, anchovies, trout, etc. These are all great sources to have. Okay, if you have salmon a few times a week, like Stan Efferding talks about in the vertical diet, you're probably good to go on fish oil. You can always add in sardines, things like that too. But make the diet fun. Have a nice salmon dish. It's a lot cheaper making it at home. Putting exactly what you want on it, squeezing some lemon on top with some good spices and herbs, rather than going out and having it cooked in all this probably crap sunflower canola oil on the flat top, and then thinking, why does my stomach feel bad? I thought it was just salmon, rice, and a veggie. Well, it was doused in a lot of oil that you didn't know about. Okay. From there, some other plant-based sources, like I talked about, chia seeds, flax seeds. This is a great thing to add in the morning, great thing to add to some meal prep that you do. If you meal prep any like oat bars or stuff like that, I'll come out with recipes in the future about some oat pancakes that I think those oat power pancakes help you get swole. But chia seeds, flax seeds, man, that helps a lot. for good poops as well. That's going to have really good fiber. We're going to talk about walnuts as well. Hemp seeds is great, okay, right? The hemp and cannabis plant is a powerful plant. You can utilize that through the hemp seeds. Great protein profile. We got edamame, etc. And then lastly, some sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds. Those are all great sources of fat. So I hope you took down some notes on those macronutrients. Okay, once again, we want to be focused on that whole food. If we can reduce the amount of processed food we have, we're going to probably reduce the calories inherently. And the great thing is you're going to be probably even eating more foods that are going to be filling to you. Whole foods tend to be more filling than these processed foods that have a bunch of crap in them. I used to love eating that stuff, right, to make weight for football. I had to weigh over 300 pounds every single Friday morning. So the day before, I'm going to get a freaking foot-long sub from Wegmans, chugging half a gallon of chocolate milk, eating at least a box of cereal with whole milk, all this stuff that's just, that's going to help put on weight, right? That's just the crap, ice cream, all that stuff is going to, chicken wings, all that stuff, is going to help put on weight. It's processed. We want to eliminate that processed food, but we still want to be eating good, nutritious food that tastes good. And the great thing is you can cook it yourself and you're going to save money too. So I'll show you some future grocery hauls, which I do, to meal prep, and show you some recipes I have as well. And then before I go, just want to review a few of the micronutrients and how to get them from Whole Foods. Once again, Whole Foods is going to be absolutely crucial for you losing weight sustainably, right? If we're just crash dieting on juice cleanses and things like that, right? Every diet has its place, whether it's keto, carnivore, vegan, pescatarian, etc. Every diet has its place, but what I've found from my experience of losing 80 pounds, keeping 80 pounds off for 3+ years, and helping other people lose 50+ pounds, okay? These are the things that help the most, okay? Eating throughout the day with whole foods, and then moderating your macronutrient intake depending on when you exercise. Okay. From there, we're going to start with iodine. Okay, some sources to get iodine to help that thyroid out, right? I crashed my thyroid when I lost weight. I went from December of 2021, about 305, to May, okay, when I graduated from grad school. I was 225, but I crashed my thyroid. I had no idea, okay? I was walking around in my house with a freaking winter hat on in the summer, freezing my ass off, and I didn't know why. The AC wasn't on high. Other people in the house weren't cold. I didn't realize my thyroid just completely crashed because I didn't have the proper micronutrients, and I crash dieted a little bit. I started with carnivore, other things, fasting, and those all have a place, but it's important to utilize them the right way. So once again, I've went through this. I'm happy to help you with this. This weight loss journey. But here we go. So iodine, okay, eggs, cranberries, iodized salt, seaweed, and kelp. We've got wild caught cod, yogurt. And then one note there, the absorption can be impaired by cruciferous vegetables with the iodine. So just be careful of that. Cruciferous vegetables, aka broccoli, kale, things like that. The rabbit food, what we would call that as a lineman. We make fun of that rabbit food, but now it can be utilized. You can always add in some great greens, spinach, etc. to your food. From there, we're going to go to potassium, another really, really important micronutrient that you don't want to forget about. Okay, it's also an electrolyte. So potassium, we've got sources from red meat, orange juice, potato, spinach, salmon, yogurt. We've got apricots, avocados, bananas, bison, oranges, sun-dried tomatoes, sweet potatoes, and tomatoes. Okay, those are all great sources of potassium. Okay, moving forward, we've got iron. Okay, shout out to Liver King here. We've got liver, of course. It's going to have a lot of iron micronutrients. Once again, red meat, eggs as well. Shellfish, aka clams, oysters, mussels, turkey, broccoli, legumes, quinoa, spinach, tofu. I don't eat tofu. Okay, calcium. We've got canned bone-in salmon. I don't know if I've ever, maybe I had that once, but ground eggshell. I gotta try that. From there, okay, some of the ones I've actually had. We've got low-fat cheese. Okay, another good source of calcium. Obviously, dairy, yogurt, sardines, milk, hard cheese. Great sources of calcium there. Another one, the vitamin D3, right? If you're living in the north like me, living in Western New York, probably don't get a lot of vitamin D. Probably don't get in the sun a lot. It's sunny today, so get outside if you got the sun out. But you probably have low vitamin D, and maybe you're taking a vitamin D supplement. Add some K2 in there too. A lot of them will come together. But Either way, vitamin D3. We've got cod liver oil. Okay, we've got milk that's got some vitamin D in there. Dairy products in general, salmon, sardines, whole fat Greek yogurt, and of course, sunlight. Get out there and get some sun. Another micronutrient that is vastly important and tends to be demonized, but maybe not anymore. That's going to be sodium. Okay. If you're a salty sweater, if you're a big guy and you're working out hard and you got that white stains on your shirt, right? I had those all firefighting and doing all that hard stuff, playing football. Chances are, if you're a heavy sweater and you're working out hard because you want to lose weight, you're freaking motivated, ready to rock and roll. You need to be supplementing with some salt. That means adding some salt. Shout out Nick Moyles, lightly salt your food. That's what we used to always be told during camp playing football. But yeah, sodium is pivotal, right? So you can supplement that obviously with things like liquid IV, any of those electrolyte formulas. Check out the actual profile on those. Hopefully lower in sugar, even though sugar does help you hydrate. But if we're losing weight, we probably don't need the extra sugar right now. So focus on adding some salt to your food. Also, you can always use bone broth too. I love bone broth. Toss that on some rice, especially if you meal prep rice and a few days later your rice is kind of hard. Pause. We want to add some bone broth on there. That's really helpful. That's going to help with micronutrient intake. I go to Core Life, get bone broth from there. You can get Kettle Fire from any local grocery store, preferably beef bone broth. Okay. From there, glutathione. So this is something I actually use as an injectable, which is an antioxidant, helps for aging, helps for pain, but it's also going to be found in food. Okay, so glutathione is composed of glutamine, glycine, and cysteine. Okay, so sources of cysteine, specifically bone broth, red meat, whole eggs, yogurt. You're seeing this common theme right now. A lot of those whole food, especially protein sources that you're having that have fats in them, also have a great amount of micronutrients, which is why we want to be eating these micronutrient-rich whole foods, like red meat, like eggs, etc., like yogurt, like dairy. Okay, obviously we don't want it to be found or have it upset your stomach, but it's going to be very helpful. And then we've got glycine and glutamine. That's really found in any high-quality protein source. And then lastly, we've got selenium. Okay, this is going to help your body recycle, create more glutathione. Selenium also really important for your thyroid function. You can find this in Brazil nuts. Have 3 to 5 Brazil nuts a day in the morning. It's a great fat source and also has a great source of selenium. Other sources of selenium include beef, cottage cheese, and yellowfin tuna. I'm sure there's more out there, but that's what I have on my little Excel chart for clients right now. Okay. Last two micronutrients we're going to talk about today is going to be vitamin C and vitamin A. Starting with vitamin C, some great food sources: oranges, bell peppers, potatoes, strawberries, lemon, grapefruit. We got pineapple, kale, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, and broccoli. Okay, once again, a lot of the foods that I talked about in approved food list for really whole foods to have, you want to really aim, hopefully starting out 80-20, 80% whole foods. So if you're eating, I'm not good at math, but if you're eating, right, 2,000 calories a day, hopefully you're not. Hopefully you're eating more than that. If you're crash dieting and eating 2,000 calories, you probably want to talk to me, and I can help you make sure you're not under eating, because that's just a sure way to binge, especially if you're a big guy like me. And eventually, after eating not that much food, you're like, fuck it, I'm just gonna eat what I want. And we want to avoid that fuck it stage by eating, right, whole foods, okay, that taste good, aka oranges, bell peppers, potatoes, etc., that I just mentioned for vitamin C sources. Lastly, we got vitamin A. Okay, vitamin A, we've got some sources, aka butter, carrots. I wish I had more carrots when I was younger, clearly. I've got shitty vision. Okay, we got bell peppers, liver, spinach, eggs, squash, sweet potato, cantaloupe, milk, cheese. Okay, those are all great vitamin A sources. So I hope that helps for just weight loss 101, focusing on whole foods. All right, single ingredient sources. Look on that ingredient list. If it's got more than one, maybe if it just has salt added, but really just you want to be able to control what goes in your body, right? It's a huge thing. We want to have autonomy. We want to choose what we put in our body. As somebody who's trying to lose weight, chances are, if you're here, maybe you're a former athlete, you were force feeding for so long that it was just, it's just common. You're used to eating 5,000 plus calories a day. And chances are, if you reflect, if you track for 3 days on the weekend or weekday and see what you eat, and if you can just type that in, I had whatever, this sub from DeBella's or this thing from Subway or this thing from Chick-fil-A, and before you know it, right, all those are not whole food ingredients, and chances are you're keeping on more weight than you really need. So my goal here is hopefully this Weight loss nutrition 101 has helped you a little bit, understanding how to lose weight. Okay, I'll come out with more videos in the future regarding how to prioritize your meals, how to structure your meals, how to utilize macronutrients, how to combine certain things for hydration, aka sugar and electrolytes, etc. But if you've got any questions, leave a comment down below. I'll be coming out with more recipes and grocery hauls, etc. So excited to see where this takes us. I hope this helps you cut down some weight initially. And if you need some help losing weight, hit me up on Instagram, Jack, Jack _Klenk, Klenk. Also on X, Jack _Klenk 79. And then, of course, here on YouTube, I believe Jack _Klenk. So hit me up. My first video where I kind of explain the coaching application has in the comment section. Click that Google form, request access. I'll send you an email with that, and we can get going from there. But man, once again, I'm a guy 300 plus pounds for years, for 6 years, 7 years. Cut down, lost 80 pounds, kept it off successfully. Now my goal is to help guys like me who wanted to lose weight, right? You're playing football, or you're playing whatever sport, or maybe you're just stuck in that pattern of being the weight you don't want to be, right? And you need some help with that. You need some advice. I'm here. Okay, I'm the owner, founder, and head coach of Lineman to Lean Man, right? We're trying to get lean out here. So here for the big boys. Hit me up if you need any questions, and I'll see you in the future. See you.